One of my favorite fruit desserts is blackberry cobbler. We're going to engineer a recipe today that solves the two greatest struggles, a soggy crust and a bland filling. We're going to create a light biscuit crust and a filling that is full of fruit flavor. And best of all, it's gluten-free. Let's fix it. To avoid a bland filling, you need to choose the best blackberries for the job. Fresh harvested is your first best option. If you can't find those, you want to go with frozen. Buying berries that appear fresh in the store is always risky. You don't really know how long ago they've been picked, how long they've been sitting in cold storage, and how much flavor they're really going to have. I always use frozen berries for baking, and I'm never disappointed. When dealing with frozen fruit, it depends how much time you have. If you're in a hurry, you can always thaw it in the microwave. If you're not so much in a hurry, you can just let it sit on the counter for a while. That's what I'm doing today. If we want our filling to be bursting with fruit flavor, we need to find out how the fruit is now. Okay, that berry has a decent amount of acidity to it still, so I don't think I need to worry about adding lemon juice. We're just going to go with it as is. If the berry didn't taste very acidic, we definitely want to add some lemon juice to spruce up the flavor. So while the blackberries finish thawing, let's make the dry mix for the filling. With granulated sugar, then brown sugar, cornstarch, cinnamon, and nutmeg. I like to make the dry mix before adding it to the fruit so it has equal distribution, especially the cornstarch. I don't want to risk that forming lumps. The blackberries are melted now, so we'll go ahead and build the filling. We'll add the dry ingredients. This detail is super important. Thawed fruit has lost a lot of its structure due to the ice crystals. So when you're mixing the dry ingredients in here, you're not really mixing, you're just gently tossing with a spatula. Your goal is not to disturb the fruit any more than you have to. If you break the fruit down too much, you could end up with like a pulpy mess when you have your final result. You want to use a larger baking dish. The thing is, when this cooks, it's going to expand a bit, and you don't want it to boil over in the oven. Make sure you have some extra height. We're going to go into a 425 Fahrenheit oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until the filling gets hot. While the berries are in the oven, let's get working on the crust. We have our gluten-free flour, brown sugar, granulated sugar, baking powder, and salt. I find you don't really sacrifice much using gluten-free flour here. There are a couple tricks you need to know to make sure your crust doesn't come out soggy or doughy. Before we get to that, let's check on the blackberries. The outside is bubbling, but the inside of the filling is still cold. We'll give it a quick stir and 5 more minutes in the oven. The blackberries are almost hot, so we'll finish building the crust. The olive oil will provide some structure and flakiness and also act as a moisture barrier. I started with a whisk, but that proved to be a mistake as everything dried up and I got a lump stuck in the middle. Switch to a spatula, it's a much better option. The final ingredient to add is boiling water. This boiling water activates the baking powder and it ensures a light biscuity dough before we even put it on the blackberries. As everything is mixed together, you can see in the texture how there are air pockets forming. The filling is hot and out of the oven. Let's get the crust on there as soon as possible. When the dough for the crust hits the hot blackberries, the part touching the blackberries starts to cook right away. This creates an instant moisture barrier and will protect the crust while it bakes. I'm treating the dough for the crust like drop cookies. I want clumps of dough, and I also want gaps for the steam to be able to escape. Before going back in the oven, we're going to add a cinnamon sugar topping. This will give a little punch of flavor and make the top more crispy. My goal with this topping is to make it look like snowy peaks. Now we're going to go back into the oven, 425 Fahrenheit still, and we're going to bake it for about 30 minutes. Coming out of the oven now. If you've been enjoying this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any gluten-free fixes. Doesn't that look nice, all bubbly? Watch what happens to the sides as it cools off for a few minutes. This is why you want a baking dish with extra height. It's tough to wait, but you want to make sure this cools to room temperature before serving. I've done my diligence. It's cooled to room temperature. It's time for plating. Oh, there's the money shot right there. What you have right there, ladies and gentlemen, is blackberry perfection. Let's give it a try, shall we? Oh yeah. I hate to say I'm actually surprised how good that is. I mean, I knew it'd be good, but wow. So the crust, it has that nice caramelized top from the sugar and cinnamon, and it's also super light on the inside. A light biscuity crust is so enjoyable. And then you get down to the filling. It's just the right texture, kind of a smooth jam. And the flavor of the blackberries, it just punches you. I mean, you get the rich, complex flavors up front, and then you have that sharp bitterness that just kind of kicks in at the end. It's just so good. Wow. If you enjoyed this recipe and you'd like other gluten-free summer treat ideas, try my Meyer lemon tarts, or maybe you want to try my gluten-free crepe recipe. Both those are shown right here. Thanks for watching.